Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any question regarding to this video or any other video that I have posted in the past. If you have any videos that you would like me to make, please let me know. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. The goal of my YouTube channel is to help you to make home cooking spontaneous and intuitive, so that you can cook every day and make home cooking as part of your daily routine. And one of the ways how to achieve that is through my fast cooking system, which has 4 components. That is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. Now, flavor chasing is an important part of my cooking system. And recently a viewer asked me, how did you cook with wine? Now, wine has been used in many different types of cooking cuisines. But stir frying turned out to be perfect. Now, normally when you think of wine, you think about table wine. However, there are special type of wine which refers to as cooking wine. And there are many different kinds of cooking wine, and they come in different varieties, some of different flavor. However, cooking with wine could be quite complicated. A lot of time you need quite a bit of wine. For example, sometimes if you make a stew with wine, you might have to use half bottle of wine. However, stir frying turned out to be perfect because stir fry does not use a lot of wine. So let's take a look at what are wine and how they compare to other alcoholic beverage that we are frequently familiar with. Now, these are the common alcoholic beverage that most of us are familiar with. First of all, we start out with beer, which have an alcohol about 5%. And then we have something like a malt liquor, which has an alcoholic content of about 7%. And then we come to wine, which is about 12%. Then we have a special wine, which is known as a fortified wine. Now, the fortified wine are frequently referred to as dessert wine. For example, sherry is a form of fortified wine, and it has 17% alcohol content. And the reason for that is because the fortified wine are actually added with additional distilled alcohol. The distilled alcohol actually play an important role in stabilize the wine, and it prevents the wine from to become oxidized. And therefore, fortified wine, you can have a bottle of fortified wine and you can keep it for as long as you want. Whereas normal wine, you can only keep it for a certain amount of time after you open it, because then it will become oxidized. And then we have something called liqueur, which usually are referred to as a appetizer drink. And this has a higher alcohol content, usually about 24%. Then we have actually the hard liquor, this including things like brandy, cognac, which has an alcoholic content of about 40%. And then from that point on, you have alcohol that have alcohol content up to as much as 80%. Now, it turns out that all cooking wine belong to fortified wine. Their wine actually has been supplemented with alcohol and to provide stability. And in here, this cooking wine is belong to this category. And for this reason, you can store them in open conditions in room temperature, and they are stable for a long period of time. In China and Japan, all the wine, instead of made from grape, they make from rice. Now, the Chinese wine as well as Japanese wine, the rice wine, are also used for drinking as well. In fact, that's what they originally designed for. Now, the rice wine is very different in flavor. And the one thing about the rice wine is that they have been around for a long time. And one of the most interesting thing about many of the Asian rice wine is that they come in really beautiful bottles. And some of them has great significance for historical reasons. For example, there's one famous Chinese rice wine called Nu'er Hong. Actually, the term refers to red daughter. And the design of this wine, or the purpose of this wine, is that when a family had a daughter, they would bury the wine in their backyard. And when the daughter was married, they will open this wine for the wedding ceremony. So here is how rice wine is made in traditional conditions. It uses huge vat. As you can see, the rice are being fermented. Now, most of the time, the rice that are used for making rice wine are glutinous rice. They are kind of short grain rice. That's maybe sometimes we call them a sticky rice. And using this method, they ferment the wine very much in the same way for probably hundreds or even maybe thousands of years. But of course, today the technology has changed, and in the modern brewery, they use a different type of a system which make it more efficient, and that particularly is common for making cooking wine. Because cooking wine is usually an inexpensive version of the drinking wine. Now, this rice wine has a long history, and in here is a good example of a different brand of rice wine. And this particular brand comes from the part of China called Shaoxing, and that's why a lot of Chinese cooking wine are referred to as Shaoxing wine, because Shaoxing is where they originated from. Now, however, wine can be made from different type of rice. Here is a different type of rice wine, and some of them are clear because they make from white rice, whereas some of them have a dark color because they make from the black rice. And because of this reason, the coloration quite often determine the type of wine that where the rice comes from. And they also are slightly different in flavor by adding different type of ingredients. Today, most of the rice wine that used in most Chinese kitchen, as well as around the world, is a wine that comes from the place I mentioned earlier called Shaoxing. They are well known for their production of their wine. Now, this particular wine has a very unique flavor because they add other type of ingredients that to create a flavor that is very characteristics. And this wine also is high in salt. The concentration of this wine usually is about 15% alcohol, but it contains about 1.5% salt. It turned out that stir-frying with rice wine cannot be simpler. All you have to do is to add the wine to your stir-fried process. A lot of time I add the wine usually toward the end of the stir-frying process. And the reason was simple, because if you add it too early, the wine will be evaporated. And the end result is that you will not have a strong wine flavor. Now, this is the part where flavor chasing comes in. Some people like their wine stronger and some people like it less. So the best thing you do is that I put my wine in a squeeze bottle. So I will add an amount and give a taste test and decide whether it's the amount that I want. And if I want more, then I will add more. And using this approach, you can adjust the flavor of your dish exactly how you would like it with oyster sauce or with hoisin sauce. And the combination, again, very much depends on how you like it. So most of the time when I use wine for adjusting my dish, I usually adjust the flavor by starting out with a small amount and I gradually add more. And I find that if I add it right at the end before I finish the dish, I will have the strongest flavor of the wine. Again, you do not need to add very much. Some dishes do extremely well. For example, mushroom work extremely well with Shaoxing wine because mushroom can soak up the wine readily. So if you have never tried it, I would get a bottle and experiment with it and to see how you like it. This is the old city of Shaoxing, which is located in the eastern part of China, where the wine originated. It is famous for its water village. I post a video each day to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system. If you'd like to learn more about this cooking system, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.